Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President of the African Development Bank, AFDB, on the award of the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo Prize for Leadership. The President, in a statement by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Anjorin Gelali, commends the AFDB President for his visionary and noble endeavor to transform agriculture in Africa and ensure food security on the continent. Recalling the growth enhancement schemes revolutionizing Nigeria's agricultural value chains, he introduced as the then Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. The President acknowledges Dr. Adesina's unblemished records, tried and tested integrity, as well as his immense leadership and development strides, particularly in agriculture, efforts of which have earned him numerous honors and recognition globally, including the World Food Prize in 2017. Dr. Adesina joins other important previous winners of the award, such as Nigeria's Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, former President of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, and lawyer, educationist, Chief Afe Babalola. There is a ray of hope in Nigeria's quest to attain food sufficiency following the commitment of the African Development Bank to facilitate the cultivation of 118,000 hectares of wheat in the country. Yahana Suhasan Barrow reports that this is in addition to supporting researches in drought-tolerant maize and sorghum.
Nigeria has over the years been faced with food insufficiency due to climate change variability. Although Africa and Nigeria inclusive only accounts for less than 4% of the gas emissions, unpredictable weather conditions are having serious impact on the lives and livelihood of the populace. To address this uncertainty, the African Development Bank is engaging researchers to come up with highly modified and drought-resistant maize, sorghum, and wheat seeds that will survive in temperate regions.
That you have climate change doesn't mean you should be too scared. You know, the African Development Bank supported Ethiopia with heat-tolerant wheat varieties that in 3 years allowed them to become totally self-sufficient in wheat. They are now a net exporter of wheat. And I'm delighted to say that the African Development Bank this year is supporting Nigeria. This dry season to cultivate 118,000 hectares of these heat-tolerant wheat varieties.
The Center for Dryland Agriculture, Bayero University, Kano, are among the centers the bank will engage. The center has made a lot of breakthroughs, including microorganism modification to reduce methane secretion in animals. With the state-of-the-art facility, the director of the center, Professor Muhammad Jibril, said they will collaborate with the bank to produce highly modified seeds. In Kano, Yahana Sahasan Barrow, NTA.
Senate urges authorities to do more in addressing security breaches in parts of Benue State, the latest of which was Tuesday night's attack on communities with reported loss of lives and property. The lawmakers requested additional deployment of security personnel in affected areas to fish out perpetrators and restore normalcy. It was in response to a matter of urgent importance raised by Senator Emmanuel Udende, who noted that the spate of attack is affecting the social and economic lives of residents.
The villages and communities now find themselves targeted on a daily basis by heavily armed terrorists, and the toll continues to be staggering as they bear the brunt, with reports of marauders butchering several villages, leaving many homes completely burnt down and numerous residents still missing, while the perpetrators, however, remain elusive and have not been apprehended.
Senator Odende assured the good people of the areas affected that this matter is now before the floor of the Senate and that we are taking serious actions. We work with the presidency to ensure that normalcy is restored in those areas, and particularly the victims are also catered for.
Senate observed a minute's silence in honor of those who lost their lives. Meanwhile, Senate has confirmed the appointment of nominees of President Bola Tinubu, namely Amidu Rahim and Fashuwa Johnson Abayomi, as commissioners for the National Population Commission. Similarly, the House of Representatives wants President Bola Tinubu and the National Security Advisor to come to the rescue of residents of Katsina State and stem the tide of banditry and kidnappings in the state, sequel to a motion of urgent public importance by Representative Sada Soli. The House mandated its committees on national security and intelligence, as well as Army, Navy and Police, to interface with all relevant security agencies and key players to swing into action and bring perpetrators of banditry and kidnapping to book.
Gangs of armed bandits from neighboring Kaduna and Zamfara states are making all efforts to gain control over some communities in Katsina State. Worried that Katsina State is near being overrun by these criminal elements if no urgent and decisive action is taken to curb the activities of these bandits and restore peace and order to about 18 local government areas.
The same issue is happening in Benue State, the same issue is happening in Niger State, the same issue is happening in some part of the southeast.
An impeachment notice has been served against the Edo State's Deputy Governor, Philip Shuaibu, this morning by members of the Edo State House of Assembly. The petition, which contained the notice of impeachment, was allegedly signed by 21 lawmakers, and the clerk of the House is to serve the notice, giving Philip Shuaibu 7 days to respond. Obehi Otobo Appraiser is standing by with more on the developments in the House this Wednesday in Benin City. Hello, Obehi. Please tell us the latest. 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 We can't connect with Obehi there. We hope to bring that report to you if we establish contact with her again. Now, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, says the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has learned its lessons from the mistakes made in the handling of the Ondo State governorship election in 2020, which led to the party's loss. This was at a meeting between the National Working Committee of the PDP and party-critical stakeholders in Ondo State ahead of the November 2024 governorship election. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This meeting held at the national headquarters of the PDP in Abuja is at the instance of the party's National Working Committee in its determination to emerge victorious in the November 16, 2024 governorship election in Ondo State. Leader of the party in the Southwest Zone and Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, and former Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko joined 78 stakeholders invited to the meeting.
If in the past, 4 years ago, we had that division within us that allowed the seats to slip away from us, at this time we are united, and we will stay united all the way to the election.
PDP Acting National Chairman Umar Eliadamagum explained that the meeting is in line with the timetable and schedule of activities for the Ondo State governorship election. The aspirants appealed for a level playing field to compete for the party's ticket.
The problem of Ondo State has been solved today. So the problem is solved and we are ready to go back home.
On the issue of consensus, yes, you see have arguments back and forth, but zoning is already achieved.
Every action that we take going forward in this process, that the Constitution will be our guide.
Discussion and wider consultation continue in the days ahead. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Okay, we will now rejoin Obehi in Benin, who is standing by to give us an update on the impeachment notice to be served to the Deputy Governor, Philip Shuaibu. Obehi, if you can hear me, tell us the latest from the Edo State House of Assembly this morning.
I can hear you loud and clear. I'm standing live here right now at the entrance of the Edo State House of Assembly. For days after the PDP primaries, rumors have been rife on the planned impeachment of the Deputy Governor. The majority leader of the Edo State House of Assembly, Charity Irobawegia, confirmed that rumor this morning when he announced a petition to impeach the Deputy Governor. And he gave two grounds for the impeachment notice of the Deputy Governor. The first one, he said, is the fact that the Deputy Governor filed a case against the three arms of government, which is the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And then, secondly, he said the Deputy Governor revealed state government top secrets. And so he said this petition has been filed against the Deputy Governor, and the allegations are open to him to say that whether or not he's guilty or not. And also the Speaker, Blessing Agbebaku, has since directed the clerk, Yaya Mogbai, to serve the Deputy Governor the notice of impeachment. The Charity Irobawegia, who is the majority leader, who was immediately besieged after the sitting, which didn't last very long. He was besieged by media personalities to clarify give more insight into the impeachment notice of the Deputy Governor. And he says that this has nothing to do with the governor at all, that it is the lawmakers, 21 of them, who are unhappy with the fact that the Deputy Governor has allegedly been embarrassing the state governor. He also clarifies that these 21 lawmakers out of the 24 lawmakers in the Edo State House of Assembly cuts across different parties in the House. Although we were not given the petition actually to go through, but he says that both PDP and APC lawmakers have signed the petition against the Deputy Governor.
Can you hold on? Can you hold on a minute? Obehi, please, can you hold on a minute? From the reports we are getting now, can you confirm if the Deputy Governor have been impeached? Well, that is the reports we are getting at the moment.
Yeah, no, Ifoma, he has not been impeached. Yes, that's not the process. According to the majority leader, he said these things there are some processes you have to go through. And what they have just done in the Edo State House of Assembly by serving him his impeachment notice is the first step. The next step is for the Deputy Governor to, lay his own side, state his own side concerning these allegations that have been leveled against him. And then the next step again is for the state chief judge, to set up a committee where this committee will look into the allegation leveled against the Deputy Governor, as well as the response of the Deputy Governor to these allegations.
All right, Obehi, thank you very much. We'll have to cut you off now, but we want you to please confirm if the Deputy Governor have been impeached and get back to us. Thank you very much, Obehi. Complexity of governance in Nigeria requires solutions which are multifaceted, owing to the diversity of areas where critical changes are required and the challenge of making public requisite administrative requirements and attitudinal shifts. This was part of submissions by speakers at the 2024 colloquium of the Council of Retired Federal Permanent Secretaries and Heads of Civil Service of the Federation. Haman Jabani reports.
The Council of Retired Federal Permanent Secretaries and Heads of the Civil Service of the Federation was established with the aim of carrying out periodic objective assessment of the overall performance of the nation and giving constructive advice to key public policy issues, as well as assisting to restore and maintain the proper role of the civil service as a non-partisan organ to serve the government and the nation. Speakers at the colloquium were unanimous that the public service is an institution that is crucial, and due to its importance, it is therefore necessary to remind all Nigerians that as an institution, it signifies humility, service, and commitment in terms of parting knowledge and advising government on policy options that will enhance living standards and the nation's economy.
We are very, very sad about the perception of the civil service. So it is in our mind to be bold enough to tell us the truth that we should, for the purpose of the survival of this great country, retrace our steps and do the correct thing.
We need public education to recognize that we cannot keep asking government to keep creating more and more and more institutions. When they are created, more be funded on a continuing basis.
The civil servants, right now, our public perception is terrible.
They noted that retirees are better placed to give a sense of direction to those still in the system, and it is time to bring back meritocracy in employment and appointments.
The theme is the way forward. And you have here about 5 former heads of service, almost about 30 of us who are retired permanent secretaries from different generations, so we'll be able to discuss and make appropriate recommendations to government.
We must restore gatekeeping. The civil service has become a place for all comers.
Haman Jabani, NTA News.
The Employees' Compensation Scheme is in alignment with the poverty reduction and healthy national workforce agenda of the Tinubu administration. Managing Director, Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, Maureen Alagua, harped on this when speaking about the remodeling role of the agency at the Central Management Performance Review meeting in Abuja. Joseph Watson has the report.
As the mandate of taking care of social security of victims of workplace accidents and health challenges, thousands have benefited from the Employees' Compensation Scheme, anchored by the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, and more will. As management of the fund says, the plan is to expand the scope in line with the present administration's commitment to workers' welfare.
We really need to be known out there in the public space because we have a very good mandate. We're here. In fact, what we're doing here is very much in line with the 8-point agenda of our president.
The remodeling has commenced, and this Central Management Performance Review takes stock of past performance and acquaints regional and branch managers with latest initiatives.
We get to understand what the challenges are, and we ensure that we're able to handle those challenges so that a solution can be raised, so that they can go back and do their work more effectively.
Some of the new operational policies and strategic action plans unveiled by the Managing Director are adoption of the Employees' Compensation Scheme ECS Compliance Certificate as part of bidding requirement for contracts in the states, a harmonized ECS central database to forestall double registration, aggressive registration of new employers, and intensification of the occupational safety and health awareness to reduce workplace accidents. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
It's now time to link up with Lagos Network Center, and Adiola will be bringing us trending stories from that axis. Good to see you, Adiola.
to see you too, Ifoma. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has promised to build additional 2 state universities with a view to enhancing the quality of tertiary education in the state. The governor disclosed this at a one-day interactive session with students, union leaders, and stakeholders in Lagos. S.A. Owamaka reports.
Commitment in fostering youth empowerment and social inclusion in the progressive governance of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, a one-day interactive session with students, union leaders, and stakeholders in the tertiary education sector was held to enable students and stakeholders recognize and harness their critical roles in the governance process.
We applaud the leadership of His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for deeming it fit to call on the student leaders, the students in Lagos State, to engage them and get a possible way forward.
It is gratifying to note that the Lagos State government has continued to sustain the tempo of excellence in our tertiary education.
Every nation has a problem. So, if you continue to paint your own nation, your own state, you will not achieve the height that others will achieve.
On his part, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reaffirmed his commitment to creating and sustaining a thriving educational sector that will put Lagos State on the global scene.
The University of Medical Sciences will be, by the grace of God, another addition to our state university. And all the conversation to ensure that we can create a University of Medical Sciences, the conversations are on. I'm going to, from 2024, increase your bursary to 60,000 and your scholarship to 225,000 with immediate effect.
The theme of the one-day interactive session between Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and student union leaders is Students are strategic partners in governance process, challenges and prospects for the youth development. In Lagos, S.A. Owamaka, NTA News.
A night of tribute has been held in honor of Chizoba and Chizi Wigwe, 2 of the Wigwe family members who met their untimely death in the ill-fated helicopter crash in the United States. Dana Jale completes the report.
Family, close associates, and friends are yet to come to terms with the deaths of Chizoba Doreen Wigwe and her son Chizi, who died alongside Herbert Wigwe, former Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank PLC. Chizoba, with her unique attributes and commitment to family life, business and education, gave her all to Herbert and their 5 children, first of which is Chizi.
Humility is key. Her kindness has been spoken of. Her love for her husband, her love for her children. I mean, all those things are qualities that definitely one should emulate. So
that is just a big blow to all of us. I don't know how we can overcome this.
Pray that the Lord will console them. That's the only place they can find peace, in the Lord.
The life of Chizi was that of passion and commitment, with which the 29-year-old handled professional, intellectual, and work ethics.
Went to the same primary school, and we have some friends, mutual friends, so we always tend to bump into each other and, meet and greet.
It was a very, very vibrant, energetic, funny, charismatic.
It's some kind of closure for us, and I hope that, it's not the longest lived life, but what a full life.
It's a few years especially, we have been a lot closer. It's been a terrible loss.
The wife, Chizoba, acquired her first and second degrees in the United States and returned to Nigeria to establish a flourishing business until death came calling. The memories of the 3 members of the Wigwe family and their legacies, many say, will continue to live on. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. We will return you to Ifoma in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide after this break. Please stay.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now, protection of the rights of the underage in society is one of the aims of promulgating the Child Rights Act. Now, the Federal Ministry of Justice and UNICEF are reviewing the legal aid guidelines to prosecute cases relating to children who get into conflict with the law. Olabode Arewa reports.
Children are one of the vulnerable persons in any society. Due to their limited maturity levels, they are usually protected from harm through the instrumentality of the law. But sometimes they get on the wrong side of the law. This has been an issue of concern to key players in law enforcement in Nigeria, prompting this review meeting in Abuja on child rights protection in the country.
Most children who are in contact with the law find the experience of legal proceedings confusing at best and a source of fear, distress, secondary victimization at worst.
Laws are supposed to be organic and change with the changing nature of society. Laws are not supposed to be static.
Irrespective of whether such children are the perpetrators, the victims, or the witnesses to the crime, the forum observed that children oftentimes do not break the law of their own free will.
We all should bear in mind that the impact of our decisions today will affect many children, either positively or negatively, when they are in contact with the law within our system.
They see a future that includes them as principal contributors to societal development. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB says all candidates sitting for the 2024 mock UTME scheduled to hold on Thursday, 7th March 2024 are allowed to enter the examination hall with ordinary HP pencil for numerical analysis if they so desire. The board says the clarification became necessary following a series of inquiries from candidates and the public regarding whether HP pencils are permitted in the examination hall as a writing material. The board has, however, okayed the use of ordinary HP pencil during the upcoming mock UTME and the main examination scheduled to commence on Friday, 19th April 2024. Candidates are asked to ensure they are not in possession of any other prohibited items. And Chinaya is standing by in our Enugu Network Center to bring us more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Chinaya.
Thank you so much, Ifoma. Welcome to Enugu. Senior commanders of the Nigerian Army are presently in a seminar in Enugu, brainstorming on ways to tackle the security challenges facing the country. Chegon Aro reports that the seminar is holding at the 82 Division Nigerian Army, Enugu.
Declaring the 5-day seminar open, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Jorid Lawaja, called on Army commanders to equip themselves with modern tactics that will enable them to lead by example. Represented by the Commander Training and Doctrine Command, Major General Kelvin Iwe, the Chief of Army Staff describes the training as an apt opportunity and charged senior officers to embrace the challenges of the modern time.
For commanders to share their experiences so that we can take these experiences back to the field and then begin to exert positive influence on all our operations, including the administration of the troops.
General Officer Commanding 82 Division, Major General Hassan Dada, in his remarks, stated that the training will offer senior officers the professional skills required in the discharge of their responsibilities.
I have no doubt that the seminar lectures will impact positively and guide appropriately all of us present here today to be better senior commanders and make the right choices towards fulfilling our constitutional responsibilities.
Participants are senior commanders and military leaders from formations and units from the Southeast, South-South, and Southwest, with the theme enhancing operational level command and leadership within a joint environment. In Enugu, Chiegono Aro, NTA News.
A protest has erupted in Abia, the Abia state capital, in what the protesters described as the recurring avoidable deaths in front of the Abia State Polytechnic. The most recent is the fatal accident involving a final year student, Mary Ezekiel, of the Department of Accountancy, Abia State Polytechnic, who was crushed by a truck driver while trying to cross over the highway in front of the institution. Grace Nana reports.
Solomon Prince, a fellow student of the Abia State Polytechnic, Abia, is still in shock on how a colleague could lose her life from a hit-and-run tricycle operator.
A finalist in our midst, HND final, who has gotten a results according to the management, was killed by a truck driver. The keke was the first person who hit the gear and ran away. When she was trying to get herself, the truck driver hit her.
Though the identity of the deceased is still sketchy at the time of filing this report, but eyewitness account has it that the ill-fated student was not the first to meet her untimely death crossing the road, as many, including a lecturer, is said to have met their untimely deaths in the same manner. These and other deaths resulting from the non-construction of a functional pedestrian bridge in front of the higher institution led to the protest.
This same thing that happened today happened a few months ago. We lost our lecturer just in front of the school here. A trailer like this killed a lecturer. After that, 2 weeks later, another keke hit somebody. The person lost her leg. This hospital here, almost every week, we count students that are admitted into this same hospital. Why we are protesting? Number one, we have been requesting even from the past administration that they should come and put speed bomber from Tony Mas Junction to Brass Junction. We've been pleading with the government and they say they gave us a pedestrian cross. Please, my sister, bear me witness and view the pedestrian cross and see what they gave to us. Was something that if a crowd of even 20 step on that place to fall.
The students call on the government to fix the situation to avert future occurrence. In Abia, Grace Nana, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. We'll take another break here, and Nationwide will continue with my colleague in Maiduguri thereafter. This day.
To Maiduguri, 100 farmers selected within Maiduguri Metropolitan Council and Jere local government areas of Borno State are undergoing a 3-day training on environmentally friendly agroecological practices. The training is an initiative of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in collaboration with Lecture Research Institute Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa reports.
We are so fascinated to attend this a memorable occasion.
It's an opportunity for the young students especially.
Idris Alhaji Ibrahim and Mariam Yakubu, participants at the training, confirming that this is the first time in the agricultural history of Borno State that they are receiving training on environmentally friendly agroecological practices. The concept is specifically designed to equip the trainees with natural methodologies of farming as against relying on ordinary techniques such as chemical fertilizer and synthetic pesticide applications, among other common solutions. Declaring the event open, representative of the Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Maiduguri, said the training is expected to inculcate agricultural best practices in the beneficiaries and therefore challenged them to participate fully, especially in the practical aspect. Director and Chief Executive Officer, Lecture Research Institute Maiduguri, Professor Babagana Jugudum Kabir, and other key drivers underscored the long-term effects of the program, with emphasis on how it will reduce poverty in addition to stabilizing the economy.
I want them to live with the techniques and the skills of organic farming, so to say, using the natural processes.
The 3-day training comprises practical and technical sessions with resource persons focusing mainly on cabbage and onion production. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Borno State Command, has paraded more than 40 suspects involved in various crimes committed across the state in the month of February. The State Commandant Musa Farouk Boyuri affirms commitment of the command to rid the state of crimes and criminalities. Polytechnic has details.
The suspects were arrested on allegations of theft, vandalization of public and private properties, including electrical cables and barbed wire. 2 trucks loaded with metal scraps and railway sleepers were also intercepted with the help of the military on the highway of Maiduguri-Damaturu Road. Other suspects include drug and counterfeit currency dealers, gangsters, and 4 suspects who lured and raped a 12-year-old girl.
We went to pick from the stolen railway sleepers and were caught by the army.
According to the Commandant NSCDC Borno State, Musa Farouk Boyi, most of the suspects were juvenile who will be profiled alongside the adults to court, while the drugs-related suspect will be handed over to NTA.
To be able to educate, counsel our wards and children to avoid crime, the tempo is allowed to continue. Of course, it will not end well in the future.
The NSCDC pledged further commitment to harnessing knowledge and experience in carrying out its mandate of ensuring a safer society in Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
That does it from the Home of Peace. Nationwide continues with Ifoma in Abuja. Ifoma, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Latiti. Now, internally displaced persons in different camps in Kaduna State are yearning to return home to continue their farming activities as the rainy season sets in. Research, however, shows that lingering fears of hidden dangers and uncertainty about their safety are keeping them in a reluctant limbo, even though the state government has inaugurated a committee for their resettlement. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports.
Most of these people ran away from their homes after communal clashes or attacked by bandits in their villages. Nearly 400 of them are living in this rough camp, struggling to survive.
So as we have driven and came here without expecting it to happen like that, so we are facing many challenges: lack of accommodation, lack of food.
Auta Alkali is a village head of Maraba Rido, who the internally displaced camp is under his territory.
Many of them came here, they were not having any clothes. Come here like that. That's why I collected them and I gave them a primary school.
However, the Kano State government is carrying out an ambitious plan to send them back to their ancestral homes, setting up this committee to ensure their safe return.
We have the goal to empower them, restore their dignity, and enable them to once again become active members of their communities. It is imperative that we all understand that the process of resettlement is complex and multifaceted. It requires coordinated efforts from various stakeholders, including us as government, humanitarian organizations, and the local communities.
As the state government takes these giant steps for the safe return to their ancestral homes, their praise and hope is for the implementation of the plans to begin soon as the rainy season sets in for them to continue their farming activities. In Kaduna, I'm Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
And we are still staying with Mohammed Umar Ajingi, but live from Kaduna now to tell us more on the plans to return IDPs to their ancestral homes. Now, Mohammed, if you are there, other than the information contained in the report we just saw, tell us, what's the latest situation as we speak?
Well, like you've heard in that report from the Deputy Governor, a resettlement process is quite, it's a very big task. It's quite complex because they are not all displaced with the same circumstances or scenarios. Some of them were displaced because of the activities of banditry in their villages, where most of their family members have been abducted by these bandits, demanding huge amount of money for ransom. While others, many others here in this camp, are displaced as a result of communal clashes in their respective villages. And that is why they are asking the state government for a proper reconciliation with their neighbors who always come to attack them, for them to return to their ancestral homes and continue their farming activities. For those who are displaced by this activity of banditry in their villages, all they are asking for is for the government to intensify security in their villages, for them to be able to stay there and continue their farming activities. Remember, most of them, majority of them are farmers. And the land is directly linked with their livelihood. Probably if the state government is trying to give them another place or a shelter, they might not likely give them the land to farm. That is why they are asking for a quick intervention for the security agencies to help them. You can see them behind me. Majority of them are children and women, looking frustrated, looking worried. These are people, these are farmers who have huge food in their various respective villages, but they have no option than to leave all those food and come here at the mercy of people helping them every day. The sooner they go back to their respective villages, the better for all of us in this country, for us to start experiencing influx of new farm produce in the market to address the issue of the hike in the prices of food items in the market. Anyway, the Kaduna State government has taken a bold step to ensure that happened, and we will keep you updated as the process unfolds.
Thank you very much indeed, Mohammed, for that update. Now, the Presidential Communication Command and Control Center in the Office of the National Security Advisor says there are gaps in the timing and capabilities of crisis response agencies. Hence, the need to organize a crisis response recall exercise. The Director General of the Center, Rear Admiral Musa Katagum, who stated this in Abuja, stressed that agencies should improve on their conduct in crisis management and response. This exercise, organized by the Presidential Command and Control Center, is to evaluate their timing, professional conduct, and functionality in the event of emergencies.
Gaps will continue to exist, and we are not lying low, and that is why the NSA has tasked us to conduct this exercise. Don't forget, what we see an agency lacking, we are going to write to them, and efforts will be made to provide for them.
The center will, in July 2024, conduct a national exercise to test the capabilities of the agencies in terms of counter-terrorism, fire incidences, and other disasters that may occur. A special session has been held by the 33 Artillery Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Bauchi, as part of the processes of achieving a reformed Nigerian Army. This session is part of the efforts put in place by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Terich Lagbaja, towards achieving a strong civil-military relationship. Muazu Hassan reports.
With the theme, proper conduct of the Nigerian soldiers within the larger society, the Army engagement formed part of the issues contained in the new strategic plan by the Chief of Army Staff. The need for Nigerian soldiers to remain professionally focused was brought to the fore, especially in their dealings with civilians based on the constitutional provision.
This topic is also germane at this time when the Nigerian Army has troops deployed across all states of the country to curtail various security challenges facing us.
The attention of Nigerians was drawn on the need to ensure maximum support for a successful national security to be realized in the country. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
In Lokoja, residents describe the current hot weather as unusual. There are growing concerns about meningitis amidst these conditions. Jonathan Omajali explores how people are managing.
With relentless daytime sun and oppressively hot nights, residents find themselves in a state of anguish.
No, for 15 years we are in Lokoja. I never experienced of this one. No. It's too much. It's too much about that.
We have local fans. We have local fans. We can manage the local fans. The experience, in fact, it's just unbearable.
with children, how do you manage with this kind of heat? They will not sleep, you will not sleep, you will be restless.
The erratic power supply is another concern, forcing many to resort to handheld fans and rechargeable fans in a bid to combat the heat.
Assuming there's light now, we can be managing the heat like that, but there's no light at all. And the alternative that we use now is to take our bath frequently.
Such conditions raise concerns about the risk of meningitis and the need for necessary precautions.
And again, anytime you develop any symptoms of cerebrospinal meningitis, which usually come with stiffness of the neck and then some drowsiness and all that, then those cases need to be reported to your physician, and then so that prompt treatment can be given to such an individual.
In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA.
And next is sports updates.
Sports Minister John Enoh has charged Nigeria's contingent to the All-African Games taking place in Ghana to go and conquer Africa. Addressing the athletes on board the aircraft scheduled to take them to Ghana for the tournament, the minister assured them that the entire nation was solidly behind them, while further stressing that although some of the athletes may be representing the country for the first time, the tournament will afford them the opportunity to make the nation proud.
The Ministry of Sports, now more than at any other time, is going to remain very open and very receptive to whatever comments or whatever advice that can come from you. Therefore, don't allow yourself to get distracted.
In a similar vein, Nigeria's duo of Aruna Quadri and Ophion Eden have won 2 medals for Nigeria in table tennis at the ongoing 13th African Games in Ghana. African champion Quadri lost to Egypt's Omar Assar 3-4 in the men's singles final to settle for silver medal, while Ophion Eden settled for bronze medal in the women's singles after losing to Egypt's Dina Mishref 0-4. Other categories are currently ongoing at the event. To football, FC Copenhagen manager Jacob Nistrup says his underdogs will need a miracle to knock out Champions League holders Manchester City in Wednesday's last 16 second leg tie. Nistrup's side trailed 3-1 after the first leg in Denmark and have also been written off by many pundits ahead of the return leg in Manchester. Meanwhile, Real Madrid would take on RB Leipzig in the second game of the day as they look to maintain their 1-0 away win to book a spot in the quarter-finals. And finally to tennis, as Andrei Rublev has called on the ATP Tour to change the rule that led to him being defaulted at the Dubai Tennis Championship last week. But after successfully appealing, saying the ranking points and prize money won barring a fine for a code violation. With sports updates, Ijoma Peter Wante, NTA News.
And that wraps up Nationwide for today. We thank you for being part of our production. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.